Hello everyone, my name is Brian Hand and I am the Head of Sculpture and Expanded Practices at NCAD, and I'd like to welcome you to Open Day. This is a virtual Open Day, of course. Typically you would come to visit the department, but here I'm going to give you an introduction to the department and show you some images of the department, and that hopefully students are working on campus, which is an important thing for NCAD, and hopefully you will be making that choice to come to first year or to look at direct entry into the Department of Sculpture. So I'm going to share my screen and show some images for this brief presentation. So now you should be able to see the screen here and an image of the department, and also the CAO codes for the School of Fine Art and for common entry first year. It's AD 101 and AD 204. So the Department of Sculpture and Expanded Practice is on the ground floor in the granary building on the campus of NCAD at Thomas Street. So beyond the ground floor, we have quite a lot of heavy machinery and workshops that are very important for students to learn skills in making and fabrication and exploring their curiosity with materials and exploring, I suppose, the kind of interaction and the feel of the machines and the feel of equipment. So it's a very important part of the course. The students would have their individual studios and then come into the workshops where we'd have two workshops assistants and three workshops assistants back as well, who help you with your work and help you with the making of work for various projects that you'll be doing through the term. So an outcome might be you wanted to make large scale letters. And again, the department has the capacity for working at scale. And this was a project that was done this summer by a graduate, Andrew Corcoran, looking at the language of the NCAD strategic plan. And again, this kind of life-size letters. And it became an interesting image for us to think about what the word curious means. And it was a good work for Andrew to make this during the lockdown as well. So how do you define something that's sculptural? I mean, it's an important area that probably doesn't get enough attention in second level, I would say. Maybe that's different, but typically painting and drawing do win out over working with materials and making processes. So when something's sculptural, it's different to being pictorial. It occupies space, takes time to make. It's something you see in the round. It can surround you as well. You can kind of enter a sculpture like an architectural understanding, or also like an installation made into a gallery space or into a particular context. Very much so the logic of sculpture is about touch and gesture and the feel for materials. We call that the haptic sense. So it's multi-sensory, not just in a sense prioritizing your vision, and that idea of it can be a living environment and has a real scope for seeing, I suppose, the natural world. You think of a tree and you can think how incredibly sculptural it is, how it's supported by its roots onto the ground, and just the whole process of how a tree is shaped by the wind, how the wind can be a kind of sculptor of the tree. So it's a poetic language that's made from physical elements that has often been shaped by kind of social and economic forces. That will be part of your inquiry and curiosity. So then you see something like Downpatrick Head in County Mayo, and you see this kind of the layers that are in this beautiful sea stack. And again, the layers of your learning as you go deeper into the field, that's also very important, the kind of archaeology of sculpture and of materials and seeing where things come from, and a greater awareness. And I think that's one of the things of your education at NCAD, is its real strength is a greater awareness of your physical environment and of the social political environment that you live in. So a definition by Rosalind Krauss, yes, sculpture is defined in the negative. It's not architecture, it's not landscape. And it is this third space, often shape shifting and shape changing, and that's what makes it an exciting field to work in. So expanded practice is attached to our title because I suppose the department recognizes that the field is expanding, that there's new elements coming in, particularly since the 1960s with a lot of sound art, conceptual art, performance art, socially engaged art practices, artisan research. It really opened up, and the sculpture departments were a key driver of that, and it allowed us to kind of embrace a broader understanding of work in public. Work can be mobile, work can be transitory, and I think that's an important element. So you would see the way you can use a projector in a space, the way you can use lighting, and those theatrical elements have come into it. And many artists from the sculpture department have had international careers, national careers, been very successful actually, the graduates from NCAD. And their practice is sculptural, but it is broader and moved away from the more traditional understandings. People might have thought sculpture in the 19th century was like monuments and casts of infamous or famous people on a plinth. So here's some work from students in first year. And again, you see the attention to making, using color, or just using monochrome, using mirrors, using string and weights. Again, trying to activate a space. And there are things that you kind of step over and step around. Again, working in our workshops, this is from today actually, because students are busy making work for projects which will be handed up or we'll look at and examine halfway through this trimester, and then you would have an assessment at the end of the trimester. And you would also do professional practice and critical and cultural studies that could go hand in hand with your work in the studios and the workshops. So it's a very full week here in the department. Learning welding, traditional sculptural activities, modeling, the building, carving, taking away, collage, again, this idea of the fragments, scattering, expanding into space, performing, photography, theater, kind of kinetic work as well, the kind of the performative object and gesture. And then on making, so there's also ephemeral work, deconstruction, dematerialization, this idea that the work, is very transitory. It will be there for the day and then it's gone. So these are all expanding ideas for what you start off with in second year, which is working through the workshops, but you can get to work in the Studio Plus year, which is in between second and third year, and we would work, say, in the field, NCAD's garden, working with ecological processes, working outdoors as well, in that sense, working with community engagement, with different artist projects in the community, and seeing that as a conversational art, where there's collaborative elements coming into it. So there's quite a lot. Sculpture does expand into a lot of social practice. Many works require this audience, require this engagement, and they're what they call live art. And we also do international field trips. Very important for us to think about getting to see work in context. This is work in an underpass under a motorway. And we went to see that in Munster in Germany. And we would also go to Venice Biennale, where we went actually, in November. Now, obviously, with lockdown, things are different, so I accept that. But it has been an important element of the course to visit survey shows and to look at very much at what contemporary work is being made. And a lot of that is sculptural installation work. And some examples of work that I remember was talking about, the work that can dissolve and disappear. So this work was made by David, and it will melt through the course of the exhibition with the heat of the lamps on the substance. And again, that's a very nice dynamic to see something disintegrate as you go to visit the exhibition, so it's not static. Large-scale work made by Megan, and again, it's a moving kinetic piece. The 3 feet of the carousel, they rotate within the space, and it's very colourful and very different type of book. So you would have your own voice developed in the department, and that's where you'll sort of come to say, this is the kind of work I like, this is the practice that I will build. And that's a very important element of it. Again, from Gary, he made a work translating data into sound, into composition, working with a Drogheda brass band to make a piece about the port of Drogheda, which once was a really busy port. So looking at the history of the social life of this port to now it being almost completely deserted, and that kind of eerie quality. So the music was played out into the bay, and he made this very nice drone video going up the mouth of the river. Very interesting piece of work as well. So the staff who work in the department are all practicing artists who've all been involved in national and international shows with a wealth of experience that will bring to your teaching and learning. And sharing that professional environment is really important, I think, for your growth as an artist, of understanding questions from practitioners in the field. So these are two works from mine. And again, site-specific work, temporary work, theatrical type work, you could say, and kinetic, or the moving work as well, the carousel again. Work by Gareth Kennedy, also a lecturer in the department, and looking at buried bog butter, which was discovered, again, this archaeology, it's talking about the layers in the bogs, and then recreating that kind of traditional ritual and going to make a new buried bog butter. Michelle Brown, another lecturer in the department, working with video and performance, and also working collaboratively with other people in the making of the work. So they give you a taste of some of the work, and I said, so many successful graduates out of the department, and we'd love to see you think about fine art for entry into NCAD, art through common entry, yeah, that's our codes, AD101, AD204, and obviously with the portfolio assessment, but we also do accept direct entry into year 2, and to think about the new things like the Studio Plus year is very important, an important element. We'd have master students in our department and also PhD students, so there's a broad, you're really coming to the place where it's at to see and to work through the new fields of contemporary art practice. So thanks for listening today. I'm going to stop my screen share. And say thanks for tuning in for this open day broadcast, and look forward to seeing you in person. Students are working in the department. Students are working in person in NCAD, and we will keep that going, and look forward to seeing you on campus should you decide to come to NCAD. So thanks very much. Bye for now.